What's been the most difficult thing for you in this industry as you're in now? Like when you think about this job you're doing, is the one thing that would make you want to decide that, you know what, this is it. It's enough. I don't want it anymore. What's been the
Yeah,
most difficult
I
thing for
think it
you?
was my pregnancy and the bad press that I got. I didn't really want to be back into it, like ever. I was done.
After
So
you got pregnant,
yeah,
you were
it
not
was
going to
just
come back
terrible
to
seeing
media.
myself on TV with another person hosting and saying, "I bet you generally know for fefe, unim ne bane papa." And ojina ho, he say, "I shishe mo, say you be kunu, say you
That's
footballer." Yeah, baby Dapper had a show, hot gossip or something like that on TV3. And I love her because it was the thing, like proper entertainment news. So the it's what the industry is, but it was so hard for me, for someone that have minded my business for a very long time, getting all of this backlash over baby inside of me. And then it takes me back to if this guy is even watching all of these and hearing on radio and how he feels about it with what I am going through. So it was really terrible for me. I just was like, I can't do this anymore. And I also didn't think I would look better enough to even be wanted again
what do
in
you
the
mean?
industry. I mean, ube kɛseɛ, bɛkyɛ ansa wo ho atɔ, you know, your mother. No, and around the time we didn't have moms. Nanaba, I think, was the only one that had a child at the time, and she wasn't even putting him out. So obi anko obi asem ti me deɛ no bɛ tɔ hɔ paa. Oh, it was bad for me. But then I had my child. I went out for an event. A picture of mine came out, and then I met this lady at the salon who said the minister, Joshua Labi, was coming with the station. He was also trying to set up at Spintech. So if I wouldn't mind starting it for him, which I did. Then the first day I went on, I got a call from Y. It's crazy, but I had already gone to Y for a job sometime, and it didn't work out. So for them to come after I had a child, when I thought it was over for me, and I was on a news station,
Go to
which
the
I did,
university?
AUCC.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I found out in the first year when I was writing my exam to go to the next year that I was pregnant. It was a bit too much for me, so I wrote the exam. I deferred, wanting to go back, but I've never been able to. I don't think I'm interested in schooling now. I'll be honest. I've had so many people try to talk to me to go back because it would be nice, but
You don't think you need it?
I don't think I need it. I think I've done well for myself to be able to probably maybe land any job at all. And knowing that I'm very good at what I do, and even if I have no knowledge of anything, put me on, guide me, I will do magic. I'd rather do that than go and further my education. I feel like that money can be used for other things.
Would you
In my
advise?
situation, it's for my son at the moment.
Okay.
So I'd rather just put all of it in him than try
in
and
you.
yeah. I'm sorry, but you guys should stop reminding me, the essence and importance of education. I think
It
I've
is
been
what it
educated
is.
enough.
Yeah, it is what it
I'm
is.
good.
How did you feel though when you discovered you were pregnant, knowing that you were going back to school?
I was actually shocked, not because I don't know what happens when you have unprotected sex, but after having unprotected sex, I took precaution, and that was the pill. It wasn't the first time I was taking it. So it hadn't failed me before. I've never been pregnant. So it was shocking that I was told that I was almost 3 months pregnant. And the person I was pregnant for, I had even left. So,
No way.
yes. So even having to call them back to inform them was a bit of a problem. But also knowing that he loved kids so much. And there's been times that he'd actually brought it up. Like, we can have. And I would say no. It was just like, okay, let me just call and let him know. But unfortunately, he wasn't up for it because he also had financial challenges and he thought it wouldn't be a good time. And I decided I was going to do it. So he said I was on my own. And unfortunately, I've been on my own for 11 years. So that was what happened. We didn't fight or anything. It was just he wasn't ready and didn't think it was a good idea, knowing his status at the time. And I also felt like, okay, we can now start planning and do better. And he was way older.
Oh.
Yeah, I was 27, he was 39. So even if things aren't okay, maybe this is the time for you to try and get it together. But he just wouldn't hear it. And there was this other thing I think also annoyed him, and the fact that I was very strong on, my choices and decisions, and there was no going back. If I say I'm doing. Because I could do. I had so many other examples in my life in the industry that was enough for me to know that if I put my mind to doing this and being a mom, I could do. And he just was upset about it, like, because he made a statement like, it's you, Caroline, right? Whatever you say goes. I don't have any say here. Okay, cool. If you want to do it, you're on your own. So that's how it ended on the phone, which kind of made me feel like, dude, man, I mean, you see me do things. So this is not even about me and what I just want, but we can. But it didn't happen. It wasn't even about us. It was about the kid.
Yeah.
Like, we can do this, but he wouldn't hear it. And yeah. And honestly, you know how it is? You do it also with hope that someday they would come around, so you're just constantly. I remember when I christened my son, I named him Adanu. That's his name. And then Foresight TV did a whole story on my christening and mentioned him as Jaden Samson. So a friend of his who watched it told him about it, and it anchored him so much. So he thought he had a reason to even not show up because I kind of family only for him to learn later that I did. And still, 11 years on, and he still hasn't come around. But we see him at the roadside every time on the Spintex Road, and we stop to talk. So Jaden knows him. He knows his house, everything, but he just wouldn't come around for whatever reason.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you care? Does it bother you?
Yeah, it bothered me in the initial stage, because like I said, I was doing everything to make sure he sees the kid and even feel regret. Like, he should be remorseful that he didn't even want to be a part of it so he can come back. But after a year, 2 and 3, the disappointment turned into anger and bitterness. And I realized it was killing me way more because it was an emotion that was eating me up, not him. I needed to let go. So I think around 4 or 5 years, I just gave it all up. I said, I really need to just stop expecting him to show up and do this. So I accepted it. And I mean, if you're religious, you know how prayer also can help you in certain moments like this, especially when you're dealing with emotional stuff. So I prayed a lot about it. And then I felt very easy, like something was just being taken off me.
Wow.
And that's how I've been able to deal with it. And now I see him and I don't feel any anger. I'm not upset. I actually stop for my son to talk to him. My son doesn't want to know now. So, but even that, I still make jokes. And then when we see, we stop. But I would rather not do it so much because now he's also asking for a dad, a husband for me. Even 2 days ago, he came asking if, his name would change if I get married to someone else. And I was like, where's this one also from? And then he mentioned some of his friends at school
who have done that.
Yeah, and those who also still have their names, even though they are with their stepdads. I said, what do you want? When we get there, we will cross, so don't worry about it. I don't like for him to feel any kind of emotion aside just being happy.
A kid.
Yes, and just living because we do what you want, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I try not to make him feel it. Anytime I'm just making jokes, about fatherhood and parenting, and I see he appreciates the whole family unit. He wants it. But it will happen when it happens.
I like that. It'll happen when it happens. Is he trying to find a husband for you?
He's not, but he's constantly reminding me to find one. And the God-fearing